Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am so excited about today's video. We're going to be talking about the long-awaited topic, and a topic I actually love talking about, which is how I scaled my business to 6 figures in 1 to 1.5 years time. Okay, to be more specific, that's around between 10 and 20 grand per month in 1 and 1.5 years time. I'm going to give you guys the download, the details, the nitty-gritty on how I did all of that and how you can apply these same principles to your business as well. And the kicker is that there was little to no startup cost, which means no, you don't need $100,000 to get your business up and running and off the ground. If you guys don't know, my name is Sephora. I am a licensed attorney and a business coach. If you are looking for business coaching, then make sure you click the link down in my bio, go to Transformative Woman and fill out the consultation form, and let's get to talking about how I can help you with your business needs. Okay, jumping into the video. Got my handy dandy laptop. Okay, so number one, of course, before you can launch a successful business, you have to have a good business idea. Now, there is so much that I have to say about this. A business idea, people think, oh, I'm just gonna start a business about anything, or I just wanna start a business about, I love this, and so I'm gonna start a business about that. It is so much more than that. There are a couple of things that I suggest you do when trying to decide which business idea you should start. I made this mistake myself before I started my successful business. So when you're thinking about your business idea, number one, think and ask yourself, do people actually need what I want to offer? Do people actually need what I'm thinking about selling or offering, right? Because if there's no need, or rather perceived need, your business will never sell. Your offer will never sell. Your business will never be successful because nobody thinks they want it or nobody actually wants it. So you have to think about, okay, is this business idea that I have something that the market, something that my audience, something that people are actually wanting and needing? That's that first kind of, I guess, facet under thinking about your business idea. The next thing that I always suggest to my clients is thinking about a business idea for a niche or for a market that you are a part of and have expertise or experience in. It is going to be so much easier to sell something if you have credibility, if you have expertise, if you have been through it, gone through it, and done it successfully, right? Because think about it. Are you going to go to a doctor who's never been to medical school offering you medical services? No, you're not, because they don't have the necessary expertise. Are you going to go to a non-attorney to get legal advice? No, you're not, because they didn't go to law school. So let's just say your business idea is, I want to be an abundance coach. Are you going to go to someone who has no experience in abundance coaching or doesn't even have abundance in their own life or has helped no one or whatever it may be? No, you're not. Okay. And so think about it. What do you have credibility in? What do you have expertise in? What have you gone through or been through? What have you done successfully for yourself or for others, right? It can go either way. You can have done it successfully for yourself. You could have done it successfully for others. So to recap, number one, it's a business idea that people need or have a perceived need. Number two, it's something that you have gone through, been through, you've got expertise in it, or you have credibility in it in some way, shape, or form. And that credibility, I want to kind of like knock a hammer here, or let me say gavel, knock a gavel here. It doesn't have to be something that you have a degree in necessarily, right? There's so many different ways to build credibility. There's so many different ways to build credibility. So be broad in your thinking and thinking about, okay, which business idea do I want to go with? And the next thing I'll say under thinking about what business idea you want to go and kind of like run away with, is it something you are passionate about and then can continue to do for a long period of time? And that is so important, because if it's not something you can continue to do for a long period of time, then how is your business going to be successful? How are you going to scale your business to 6 figures, right? So all of those factors have to be met. I suggest creating a list, writing down a list of things, business ideas, 5 to 10 ideas that you think you can start that would be helpful. And there's a need, or again, perceived need and figure out the one that meets all of these criteria, figure out the one that is scalable, and go with that business idea. Okay, that's step number one to our 10 steps to launching a successful business. This is gonna be a long video, so y'all buckle in though, get your pen and paper, laptop, whatever handy to write these steps down, and feel free to message me if you need help with any of this. So step number 2, deciding on a business or a brand name. I didn't think this used to be super important, but as I got more kind of evolved in my business, I began to think this was important for a couple of reasons, and I'll tell you why. The reason why you want a brand name is because if you eventually in the future want to sell your business or transition out of your business, and you want your business to be able to succeed when you are not in it, when you are not involved in it, you need a brand name or a business name to operate your business under. Now, of course, the legalities of it, you're going to need to register your business anyway, so separate it from you so you're not responsible and all that good stuff. That's a whole nother video. But beyond that, if you just say, well, my business is just going to be my name, well, then are you going to be the one operating that business for the rest of your life? And if that's so, if that's what you actually want to do, that's completely fine, right? But you need to know these things up front. Or are you going to want to extricate yourself from the business and maybe sell your business, or maybe have someone else run your business and have it still be successful? I think a perfect example of this is Rihanna and Fenty. Yes, technically Rihanna is the face of her brand, Fenty Beauty, lingerie, all that good stuff, but it's not, the brand isn't called Rihanna. The brand is called Fenty Beauty. And so she actually has other people running it for her. And because it's tied to that brand name, that Fenty Beauty brand name, Fenty lingerie, all that good stuff, as long as that name is there, people are still going to buy because they know what that means or how that was brought up. And so that's why I encourage you to next think about a brand name, think about a business name, and operate under that separate from your own personal name. Okay, step number 3 to our 10 steps to launching a successful business. I talked about this a little bit, but to go more in depth here, identify what problem your business solves. Again, you cannot sell something that absolutely nobody wants. If nobody wants it, you will never make a sale. You can think you have the greatest business idea in the world. You can think you have the greatest product in the world. You can think you have the greatest something, and maybe like 5 people want it, your friends and your family, or whatever. But if the broader audience or a broader range of people don't want it, you will never scale. You will never get to those numbers that's going to allow you to say, like, leave your full-time job or stop working or live the life you want to live and get the freedom you want, right? So be mindful in thinking about how many people can my business idea actually reach, right? How many people can I actually reach with what it is I want to offer and what it is I want to do? Step number 4, identify your target audience, okay? You need to niche down in your business. When you are trying to sell to everyone, you will sell to no one. You will absolutely sell to no one. When you know who it is you want to sell to, you're going to know what messaging you need to use in your marketing materials. You're going to know what messaging you need to use to attract the type of people who would buy your product or service in the first place. So it's so important to have that clear picture in your head of who your target audience is. So before you do anything, before you move on to any of the next steps that I'm about to get into, you have to know who that target audience is. I knew who my target audience was in my business. I knew who I was going after, and I knew what their biggest problems were. So again, that previous step of that's why it's in order, guys. All this stuff makes sense, okay? It's in this order for a reason. I know their problem, I know my target audience, and so I can speak to them directly. That's why it's so important to know who your target audience is. Number 5, once you've identified this target audience, jump into some market research to get more details, more specifics as to what it is they're searching for, what you are looking for. And this is going to guide you to make sure that you are creating an offer, or you are offering something that they actually want and need, and not just basing it on guesses or guesstimates or what you think they may want or need. And so one way that I suggest doing this is writing down qualities or traits of your target audience who you just identified, and reaching out to those people, going out and finding those people and asking them, hey, like, do you have 20 or 30 minutes where I can ask you a few questions, right? And ask them questions about what your perceived business idea is. Ask them questions about what it is you're thinking about offering. Ask them what their biggest problems are. Ask them all these things, right? So that you can get a good understanding of your target audience, of your market, and make sure that you are offering them something that they are actually going to want. Which brings us into our next step, step 6, creating your irresistible offer. Your offer is only going to be as good as your research, okay? So if you don't have enough research, maybe you're going to be offering something that nobody wants. Think about all the steps you just took before, all the steps that I just talked about. What did you learn from your market research? What is their biggest problems? What is their concerns? What are they talking about? And then create your offer based on that. Create your offer from your business idea all the way up through that market research, and then say, like, okay, perfect. I've got this offer. I know people want it. I know the need is out there. I know what they're looking for. I know what they're striving for. And so this offer, when I put it out there, people are going to kill for it, okay? Okay, step number 7, this is so important, and it is getting your mindset right. If you do not have the mindset to where you actually believe that you can be successful in business and you can actually have a business that is thriving and allow you the freedom to do what you want, live where you want, work when you want, all that good stuff, you will never have it, right? So you can go through all these steps as many times as you want and wonder why I'm not succeeding, and outside of like actually putting in the time and effort and realizing that it does take time, if your mindset doesn't actually align with your actions, then you're never going to reach that target. So just make sure you are in the right mindset to where you can say, yeah, this is going to be successful, and I know it's going to be successful because I have nothing but good things coming to me. Our next step, pricing your offer. You could have the best offer in the world. You could have the best offer in the world, but if it's not priced correctly, then you will never sell it, okay? So this is so important. Just make sure that you're doing that research. Make sure you're pre-selling. Make sure you're testing your offer to make sure that your offer is actually viable, that your market actually wants your offer at that price point, okay? A couple of different things you can do here. You can pre-sell it. You can test it. You can, one thing I will say I don't recommend doing, I don't like doing, is just saying like, hey, would you buy this? And then the person says yes. And it's like, okay, great. And you're like, well, I asked 20 people. I see this all the time. I see this all the time from clients. Well, I asked 20 people, or I asked 10 people if they would buy it if I charged $100, and they all said yes. But then when it came time, like, I'm struggling to sell it and it's been 2 months. Well, yeah, of course you are. Because it's one thing to say that somebody will buy something, and it's another thing for them when it's actually time to pony up the money for them to actually do it. You know, there's a huge difference. And so I honestly think it's a huge waste of time. I mean, maybe in some instances it may work, but for the most part, I just think it's a huge waste of time to ask people, would you buy something? Because again, big difference between the hypothetical would you buy and actually putting up the money to buy. So don't do that. Just actually go out in there and test your offer and see what you can get for it, and make sure this is not just like randomized testing, right? You're evaluating your offer. You're saying like, okay, what is this offer? How good is it? What am I offering? What's my market want? What does my market need? Who is my market? Where is this offer going to be located, right? You're doing, it's based on research, right? It's based on statistics. It's based on these actual concrete things that you have in place. It's not based on, well, I just think this will be a good price. Okay, it's not based on that. There's a lot of things that you should put into thought and effort that you should put into pricing your offer to make sure that it's, again, irresistible, an offer that people actually want to purchase. The next step, number 9, is going to seem very straightforward. It's have a way for people to pay you. And so, of course, if you're going to be having a business, if you're going to have your business be successful, have a way for people to pay you, okay? Let them have a way to throw you their money, okay? So again, there's some more nuances here, of course, but what I generally recommend is you can take money via Zelle, you can take money if you're just starting out, right? If you're just starting out. Usually I prefer Stripe, and you can set up a business account, a business bank account, but these are all like the legalities and different stuff like that, which is not what this video is about. So I'm not going to get into all that, even though I do believe in separating your personal from your business so that you have that legal protection with your business. That's not necessary when you are just starting out, okay? I want to emphasize that. That is not necessary when you are just starting out. Some people will say like, spend so much time figuring out which business entity, a LLC, a C Corp, whatever, partnership, whatever, spend all that. If you're a partnership, actually, it's going to be a little bit different. But anyway, spend all this time up front figuring out which one you want to be, and then set up the business account and get the IEN and do all that stuff. And all that stuff is great, and you do need to do it, but it's not the very first step. Like, if you're not making any money, if you haven't got a penny from a client in 5 months, then why are you spending 20 or more hours doing all that stuff when you need to be spending your 20 or more hours on all these steps that I'm giving you, right? And so I'm not saying that those things aren't necessary. I'm saying they aren't necessary right now. I'm saying they aren't necessary in the beginning, because that is not what matters. All that matters right now, and what we were talking about right now, is have a way for people to pay you. A Stripe account is free, and you can actually link your personal bank account. There are some other ways, but I like Stripe and I use Stripe. So that's my personal recommendation. The next step is finally launching your offer, okay? Launching your offer. This is actually putting your offer out there. You've done all the previous steps. You've done all the previous 9 steps that I just gave you. This is step 10. You're letting the world know about your new business offer. You're letting the world know what you have to offer, what the price point is. You are literally launching it. You're telling every single person you know. You're sending out an email blast. You're posting it all over social media, in person you're telling people. You are literally telling, I'm gonna give you a challenge to tell at least 50 people when you are first launching, okay? So guys, those are the only 10 steps that you need to actually get your business launched, right? Up and running and off the ground. You do not need a website. You don't need a website, because guess what? Nobody's gonna go and say, well, let me just randomly Google this random business that I've never heard of before, and I don't even actually know the name. I'm just gonna off the whim Google the business and find the website and buy from them. No, they're not gonna do that, because they don't know who you are. You have to build that credibility, build that knowing factor, and then maybe they're gonna go to your website. But the goal there, or what usually happens there, is they go to your website with the intent of already purchasing. I cannot tell you, with all of my clients, when they're going to my website, it's because they are going there to hit purchase. They aren't going there to find out like, oh, like I've never heard of Transformative Woman before. Let me go and see if I want to buy from them. And so, concrete example, if you're watching my YouTube video and I tell you to go to Transformative Woman, click the link in my bio and look at my business coaching, would you have gone there if you didn't see this video? Or would you have gone there if you didn't see me somewhere else? Or if you had gone there if I didn't tell you? No, you wouldn't have, okay? So a website is not one of the first things you need to do. Of course, after you get these 10 steps done, then you get into the website, then you get into the marketing, then you get into the systems, then you get into your selling system, your marketing system, your business entities, then you get into all that stuff. All this video I want to emphasize and ingrain in your head is you do not need any of that stuff to get your business launched, you don't even need any of that to get your first paying client, okay? I did not have a website when I got my first paying client. I didn't. I had a Google form and a way for them to pay me, and I certainly got paid, okay? And once you have all these things set up, you can focus on all those other things much later and focus on bringing in those clients so that you can build your business up much quicker. Guys, so this is the video on the 10 steps that I took to build my business to 6 figures in 1.5 years time. If you like this video, then make sure you give me a like and a subscribe. Comment down below and let me know which step you are at or which one you are going to implement, and make sure you guys give me a follow on Transformative Woman on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and I will see you guys on my next video. Thank you so much for watching.